Hello and welcome to Really, I Am a Grandparent. I'm James Lott Jr. and really, I'm a grandparent. And I talk to other grandparents who become grandparents earlier than I thought they would. This is the face of the changing face of the grandparent out there. Not all grandparents are sitting at home knitting scarves and baking cookies. Yet I can bake some cookies. I can't knit for anything. But we are also some of us are still raising our own children and also working and all things in between. So this show too was voted, which I'm so happy this year was voted one of the top 25 grandparent podcasts you must listen to in 2021. So thank you, feedspot.com. I appreciate that. I just do my little thing here. And I'm very happy that that happened. So thank you. And we are number 13 in Indonesia. Thank you, Indonesia. I don't know why you like us there, but we'll take you. I've never been, but I guess you have young grandparents there. We love it. So thank you. My guest is a young grandparent. You see how beautiful she is. And we're going to talk about how she became a grandparent, what her grandparenthood is like, and all that in between. My friend, Miss Dawn Sue. Hi, Dawn.
Hello, hello. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Okay, so, well, these are from some of the questions I always ask in the beginning, of course. I don't know if you watch any other shows or anything, but we have some really great guests who've been on. They're nice, fun, young grandparents. Um,
Mm.
what age were you? Now, I usually don't ask women their age today, but what was the age that you became a grandparent the first time?
I was 41 when I became a grandparent for the first time.
And was it a girl or boy?
It was a boy.
Okay. So let's get some backstory. So, how many kids do you have yourself?
I have three. I have three kids, two girls and a boy. I had my kids kind of young. I was 20 when I had my first child, and I had three kids in 4.5 years. So my kids are very close in age.
Ooh, you're a
So
saint. You're a saint. That's like, I mean, I
yeah.
had two daughters. They're a year and a half apart. So I'm like, oh, it's a lot of
Oh, it's a roller coaster.
yes. Having at one point you had like all toddlers in your house at one point and all young. I mean, all under age of 5 at one point. I mean, that's a lot. Ooh,
Yes,
a lot.
it was quite a bit, but we made it, and
We made it. Yes. Yes, you made it. They though actually
we
before
made it.
they made it. You didn't. You
We're
didn't.
still alive.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so when you got your first grandchild, well, first of all, before that, um, we all have kids. We're so busy, raising the kids and getting them going. Was there any thought about grandparenthood? I mean, anytime soon? Probably not, right?
Oh no, no, I was almost at the finish line. My kids were growing up and getting ready to leave the nest, and here came our baby boy,
Yes.
which I am raising now. So,
Yeah, yeah, I see. Yes. Okay, so there. Okay, so we'll get to that in a second. But let's give people a little context. So when you're out there, you're still living your life, you're raising kids,
yeah,
and almost like it's almost done, but then you become a grandmother for the first time.
yes.
So what was that feeling? Having him in your arms and all that kind of stuff.
I will be really honest. When my daughter first told me she was pregnant, there was a lot of dread.
Yes, I know.
um,
I know. I understand that one. Yes.
and then that baby was born, and oh, wow, it's a whole different kind of love. It's a whole different kind of love.
Explain
I
that
mean,
to folks out there.
we love our kids. Of course, we love our children. We would do anything for them. But when you see your child have a child, and it's the next generation, and this feeling that that baby is here because I was a mom. I was a mom, and then now my daughter's a mother, and that baby is here because of all the people that came before him. It just, it was such a amazing feeling to me. I'm a very traditional person, and I have very deep roots in my family. And just to see, like, one more person is on this earth because of me, not me directly,
Right,
but,
right, right.
you know,
Yeah, I felt for me a similar thing. For me, I said I now have a family tree.
yes,
That's
Yes.
not just my branches are getting longer and longer. I'm like, okay, you had the kids, but now I have grandkids. Like it's now
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
it's mine, but not mine. It's kind of mine. I mean, I kind of, it's you wouldn't be here, otherwise kind of thing. But it's like it's very interesting that now I have my own branch that goes off this direction, and it has now, and I'm about to become a grandfather again any day now for the fourth time from my other
Yeah.
daughter. So it's very interesting. Now both my children have had children at this point. I'm about to have children at this point. So it's very strange. And I told my sister who's a grandparent too. I said it's interesting to watch your kids become parents. It's a very different feeling. Um,
Yes. And I'm adopted, so I think it kind of meant even more for me, like, you know, biologically and, kind of all these things that are kind of deep seated and natural in us to procreate and, carry on family name and those types of things. Well, I was adopted as a child. I didn't know my biological parents. So had my kids. And then when he was born, it was like it was another person that was biologically connected to me. And it meant so much.
I
So,
never thought that before. I do this show, always learn something every time I do the show. And I never really thought before, if you are adopted, there's no one biological. Chances are you don't have anybody biologically related to you. They could be walking near you, you have no idea, right? But
right,
now,
exactly.
when you have kids, they're biological, and then now they are blood yours. So that adds
Yes.
a whole dimension to your life. It's almost like it's giving back to you, so to speak.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's a very good way to put it.
Yeah,
Yep.
God, never thought about that. That's a very interesting. Never thought before. And actually, you can see. Actually, you can now not just from your kids, look at your grandkids and see what traits you have in them. Where but you can't go backwards because there's nobody above you that you're talking
Right. Yeah,
about biologically.
exactly. I don't know who I look like, but I know who they look like.
Yeah, that's actually right. That's very interesting. Hi, kitty, kitty. Let's clean yourself. Sure, I love how it works. But no, that's very, very interesting. Okay, I like that. Okay, so how many grandkids do you have now total?
I have 3 and 2 on the way
Okay,
because both my daughters are pregnant.
oh, okay.
um, my oldest daughter has 2 and 1 on the way, and my middle daughter has 1 and 1 on the way. So I'll be a grandma again in April and a grandma again in July.
Jeez, that's crazy. Okay, so five. You beat me by one. I know they all just keep procreating. It's crazy. Okay, but now you're raising one of them, correct?
Yes, I'm raising my oldest grandchild.
Yeah,
He's
Brody.
5.
Yeah, Brody, right.
Yes, Brody.
Little cutie.
Oh, he
Right.
is.
So, if you don't mind me asking, because we had people on the show before who are raising their grandchildren too. I'm just wondering how. I mean, that's what you want to get into. How are you come to raise him? How you raising him?
My oldest daughter, unfortunately, has an addiction. Um, we've seen really good out of her, and we've seen some not so good. When Brody was born, she was not so good.
Okay.
And I just, as her mother and as his grandmother, I thought it was best for me to step in and say, he's going to come stay with me until you get back on your feet. And she has not done that yet.
Okay.
We're still praying, but
Yeah.
um, so I had him the first time I had guardianship of him. The judge put some conditions on it, and my daughter met those conditions,
Okay.
and Brody went back with her, and then things fell apart again. So I've had him now for 2 years, and it's a pretty permanent situation at this point.
So
So
I mean, again, like you said, when you're still young and everything, but you were like basically you were done. So
yeah, I was
what is
done.
what is parenting like this time around? 'Cause I haven't
I
parented that in my older years. I've not parented in a while. So
I would say I'm a much better parent.
okay.
Um, I'm way more chill with him than I was with my own children.
Hey, where are you? Okay, yeah. Right.
And of course, now we have technology. So we have things like iPads and laptops, and he
Oh,
can learn some things there when grandma's tired and doesn't want to play. Um, I feel like I have, and this may sound strange, but maybe kind of like a kinship with him because of myself being adopted. I kind of have a really good feeling, really good connection. I understand a lot of the things that he's going through. Um, he's my little sidekick. I think I'm much more appreciative of life now that I'm older, and I'm much more appreciative of the responsibility I've been given, if that makes
Oh,
sense.
that's what it does. When we were young, I mean, I was 19 when Homegirl was born. I was just like, I was still living life, going to college, running around. I mean, it's just like
Yeah,
when you're young, you just do it. I tell people all the time, you go, how'd you do all? You just did it. I mean, it was what you did,
you just do
and
it.
you just
Yeah.
do it. And you're not really thinking about. You don't even know life yet. I mean, you and I didn't know about life
Right.
back then. I mean, I didn't. Okay, whatever. But now that we're older and went through it, I can imagine that now you're like, okay, now I know how this could be done. This is how this should be done. Um,
Right, exactly.
yeah,
And there's only one of him. I had three of my own. So he gets a lot more attention. He doesn't have to share me with anybody but Casey, but
that's actually a good point too, though, because because he's basically being raised as only child.
yeah.
I mean, basically.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
Casey's a big child. Oh, and folks out there who don't know this, who watch JLJ Media, Casey Hutchinson is her son. And he's the creator and everything behind Forever and a Day, our hit soap opera, and JLJ This Morning, our hit morning show. So just you guys are curious who she is, who she be. It's not Casey's son. So like I said, it was her. It's her.
no, it's not Casey's son.
So, but she's Casey's mom. But okay, but that's actually interesting too. Yeah, we know more. We're a lot more. They say a lot of older parents are much more relaxed. They're just kind of like, we know the kids will survive. We know that. We know
Yeah.
all. I mean, I remember the first year with my daughter Monica, Alicia, just so like, is she alive? Is she alive? She's quiet. Why is she quiet? Like I mean, that first year was crazy. Like we were doing it, but it's like I kept her alive that first year. I was so excited. Now my grandkids, like, give me my drink in one hand, a grandkid in the other. I'm like, I'm ready. Papa Jamie's ready. Like, I mean, I don't, I'm just like, oh, she fell out of my hand. She'll be fine. Oh, they're strong. They have strong hands. Like it is like that commercial, like first kid, second kid. It's just so different when you already know.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if he wants to jump off the back of the couch, I'm like, oh, you only get hurt once and you won't do it again.
And I love that. I do. I love that. Now, okay, so the pandemic has happened, of course, which means I'm assuming because he's not even in school yet, right? He's in
Correct.
preschool, so
He goes to daycare. Yeah.
daycare. Okay, so how's that been the last year or so?
Well, I work full-time plus I work in the accounting department for a nonprofit. Um, love my job. So he goes to daycare. Luckily, his daycare was one of the ones that were able to stay open for essential workers. So he didn't miss a beat. Um, it's been wonderful to have that continuity for him and to have that stability. It's so important, I think, especially right now for kids to have socialization and to not be isolated. We've been very, very lucky that his daycare has been open the whole time because I've been working the whole time. I don't know what I would have done. So,
Wow. Does he know his situation yet? Is he too young? Does he not know? Are you Grammy? Are you a mom? Who are you to him?
I'm grandma. He has asked sometimes, can I call you mom? The other kids at school have a mom and a dad. So we have had to unfortunately have some of those tough discussions. His biological father is in prison.
Oh, okay.
Mom's not, capable of caring for him.
Yeah.
Just explain, that sometimes even adults make bad choices. And, when his mom figures some things out, we can work her back into his life. But for right now, he's safe and happy with grandma. And we just, we kind of talk about it as it's not a permanent thing because I don't want to take away hope from him, but I also don't want to give him false hope.
Right.
So kind of a balancing act.
It is. I'm sure you're doing great. Okay, so one of the things I always ask you about this because when you become a young grandparent, how is that for you, the dating scene? Do you
Oh boy.
I mean, because as a parent, when you're a parent, if you're a single parent or you get divorced or whatever, you're a parent, that's one thing. But you're still young, and you say you're a grandparent
Right.
to somebody. I find it to be very interesting when you tell potential partners that. Any interesting stuff there?
Well, a lot of men my age are done raising their children.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, we meet and we have drinks. And oh, by the way, I have a 5-year-old.
Yeah. They're probably thinking she does. Like, where'd that come from? You're like, yeah,
Right. So it's kind of been rough, and I understand. I think at my age, if I met a man that had a young child, of course I would question, how much of my life do I want to give to somebody else's child? So
yeah.
it's rough though.
I know what a girl. I know
Yeah.
it is. I know it's rough. I know unfortunately it's rough. But
And plus, and I'm tired, I work. I work 50 hours a week. I
right,
have my home to take care of. I have aging parents on the other side of this coin.
right.
My mother passed away in December.
Yeah, I know.
So,
It's like,
now I have my dad. And um, so when I'm not taking care of Brody, I'm taking care of my dad, my other child, as I
yeah.
sometimes refer to him.
Well,
Um,
what's funny, Don? They call us the sandwich generation because I'm dealing with my
yeah.
age parents, and I have my kids and grandkids. Where they say we're in the middle. It's like
Yes.
we're at the age where we're just like we're being torn and made, and then again, obviously having regular jobs still, trying our own lives
Oh, yeah.
at the same time. It's like it's kind of like how do we do all this? We do it again. You just do it.
We just do it. I mean, I have a very full life and I'm abundantly blessed, but I would like to be blessed with a nap. That would be fantastic.
We get the bell out. Every parent and grandparent who's raising children will say, yes, we understand completely. Who watches this podcast, be like, yes, girl, we totally get it. Sleep. Isn't that funny? I love naps. I tell you, I'm like, if I can squeeze in like a 25, 30 minutes or an hour, I'm ready to go. It's like, I never thought about it before when I was
I
younger.
don't
Yes.
I don't think I've had a nap since 1995,
Yeah.
so I'm sure they're fantastic.
Yes. I'm like, oh, yes. And so yes, it's crazy. I totally understand that. I wouldn't say, but yes, but the person will come that belongs with you. Of course, I always say that.
Exactly.
It'll
Yes.
fit right on in. It'll fit right on. And you're going through what millions of folks are going through right now. It's not even. You're not alone in that. It's kind of. It's just trying to find the right person and that person who's worthy of being in his life also, because it's not just about you. So you know that.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah,
just
I'm very, very protective of him and I want whoever does come into our life to be a permanent fixture and,
yeah.
oh,
So what kind of grandma are you? Do you think to your grandkids, not just to him, but to your other grand? What kind of grandma are you?
um,
You think?
oh, I'm not sure. I try to be fun grandma, with like my other grandkids, especially my granddaughter. Her name's Catherine Dawn, after my grandma and myself.
Catherine Dawn, I like that. Cute
Yes.
Katie, like Katie Lamb.
Yeah, sweet baby Kate. Kate's very active. She's 3. So I like to take Kate places because my home's a very quiet home and Kate's very fun.
Okay, I love that.
So when I have Kate, I like to take her places. My daughter, she just finished college. She's a working mom. She's very busy and she doesn't have the opportunity to take Kate a lot of places. So I try to kind of fill in and and say, hey, come with grandma and we'll go to the science museum or we'll go here or there. So I have kind of a different relationship, of course, with Kate because she doesn't get to see me every day like Brody does. With Brody, I have to be mom and grandma. With Kate, I can just be grandma and, you know, buy her all kinds of stuff and feed her candy and send her home.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So that's why I ask you because it's different with the one in the home versus the ones that are not in your home. You have to find a way to make
Yes.
sure they feel special too, because just by appearances, they're thinking, well, Brody gets it all the time. What about
Yes.
me? Right.
Yep. Absolutely.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's kind of a balancing act. And because wherever I take her, I have to take him. But he's kind of old enough to understand, that I don't get to see the other grandkids all the time. So when we're with them, he doesn't feel ostracized or left out. He knows, like, grandma needs to give them a little extra attention. He's a pretty smart kid. So
Yeah, no, yeah, that's good. But kids are, they see things. You're like, oh no, it's not really that. It's not that at all. I have because for me, I raised daughters. So my first grandson, my first grandkid was a boy. I was so excited for me. Like I get a son.
Aw,
We're very close. Me and Zayden. I get to name him and everything. His name is Zayden. He's been on this program,
love
folks. You want to watch me and my grandson talk? You can go back to more episodes on here. We both are left-handed. He's a Taurus like I am. I mean, just like
wonderful.
my kid. But then I had a granddaughter and then I have another grandson. So it's funny. My granddaughter Scarlett and I are super alike and super close. So it's kind of like I was hoping for boys. I was so excited to get a boy, but then my granddaughter, my heart's like right there. It's like, of
Oh,
course,
I know.
of course,
I,
of course. So I
I I have been lucky enough. I've seen every one of my grandchildren born. I've got to be
oh
there to see
wow, okay.
one. So that's like it's a very touching moment. And
Yeah, I was there after because my kids are 400 miles away from me. So I was there after. I was on
oh,
the phone while it was happening with the father, but then I would show up like maybe a couple of days afterwards. I'd fly up there and see them shortly thereafter. But I wasn't lucky enough to be there. I was there for my daughter's birth. I was there in the room.
well, if you ask my daughters, I'm incredibly overbearing. So it's no surprise that I've been there for all of them.
That is so funny. Oh my god, I love it. I love it. Okay, so for all the grandkids, are you grandma? Is that or do anyone call you
Yes,
different names? So you just grandma
grandma.
everybody. Okay.
I kind of decided that. I think there's such a kind of warm, traditional, I know I don't look like a grandma, but
Sure, you sure
I
don't.
just
No.
I just always felt that, it's just I think there's such a lot of meaning attached to grandma. And I don't mind being grandma at all.
Yeah, why I do this show for many reasons, but one reason is to show people that grandparents come from all shapes and sizes, ages, well, a certain age on. But we are a lot younger, and a lot of us do really like the grandparent label, and we really are into it. It may not look like it on the outward, but let's change that look. It's like it's ranges. It totally ranges, and
Yeah.
that's why I love hearing your story, people's stories about how what it is for them, because every story is different. Because again, a lot of us are still working, a lot of us are still dating, a lot of us are still raising other kids. I mean, like it's fascinating to me. We're not the retired grandparent that lives in Boca Raton, and comes to his
Although
grandkids.
I hope to be
I mean, me too, girl. Me
someday.
too. We'll all be on the same rotunda together. I love it. I love me some South Florida. But that's another story. But yeah, but I mean but you know what I mean. That we are living, breathing, busy beings that also are involved and you do more than I do. You're actually helping raise one of them. So that's great. And we should give a shout out to Casey. I know he helps you out with the
Oh, Casey's amazing. It's like having a very fun big brother here, that
so that's good. That's good. Yeah, you got at least a little bit of help. Don, thanks for being on the show. This was a very enlightening conversation. I actually learned some stuff today.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you so much. I always enjoy talking to you. I'm your biggest fan.
I know you told me that. Go make you say, if I could blush, I would. I don't know if I can, but if I could, if you listen to this podcast, I'm brown, so I don't know if I can blush or anything. But if I could, Miss Dawn. Thank you so much. And everybody, this is the Really I'm a Grandparent podcast. We're out every Saturday on Really Saturdays on JLJ Media. I have more episodes coming, of course, this season. We are back better than ever. And stories like Dawn are very interesting for us and for you out there. And If you are listening and watching this thing and making it one of the must-watch grandparent podcasts in 2021, I appreciate that more than life itself. You can follow me where James Lott Jr. is sold at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms, including TikTok. Yeah, I'm on TikTok. I'm an old guy on TikTok. So follow me there and see what I'm talking about there. But everyone, please stay safe. And if you have grandparents or you are a grandparent, go, well, you can't really hug them or anything, but give them a call or a Zoom meeting or say hello and tell them you love them. See you next time.
Absolutely.